Welcome back to another episode of More Than a Title, y'all. I'm your host as usual, Jarrett Thomas, Chief Revenue Officer at Outside the Box Digital. And for all the first-time listeners, this is episode 120. This is a special one, too, y'all. I'm going to keep it all the way real. One reason I'm missing my brother, my brethren, your favorite CEO. My guy is Chop Suey in Mocha Fest, Jamaica, living his life, man, but he should, man. We've been working hard. We've been busting our ass all year, man. So shout out to my brother, you know what I'm saying? You know, we miss you on the pod, baby, you know what I'm saying? You already know.
I love it.
That's it. With that being said, too, man, shout out to y'all, man, the followers, the subscribers across every platform, man. We are at 80,000 views this month on YouTube alone, y'all. Subscribers going up, downloads going up, impressions going up, sponsorship opportunities becoming available, and it's all because of the love of the network, and we appreciate y'all so much, man. We do this, and we grind every week, and it's for y'all, it's for the community, so shout out to y'all first and foremost. And also, y'all, shout out to our distribution partners, the Live Podcast Network. So if you want more Black content from Black content creators like More Than a Title, make sure y'all download the QR code. For every subscription that you purchase, 50% of that goes back to the content creators themselves. So once again, it's the first women-owned, Black-owned podcast network in the world. We don't just talk or we walk it, we support our own. So if you want to go see more dope content like our show, make sure y'all go tap in with Angel Levis and the entire live team. You dig? Shout out to Boss Lady. And with that, Shay, you know what I mean?
Let's start the show.
Let's get it rocking and popping, brother. First of all, I'm going to set the table. Before I even give you your introduction, got to set the table, bro. So for those listening, right? I started my LinkedIn journey 3 years ago, right? Or 4 years ago. I was at an agency. Some of you guys know the story. I was tired of sending cold calls. I was in sales. I felt like it was boring. I felt like there had to be a more effective way to do business, right? And I went on LinkedIn, y'all. I didn't know shit about LinkedIn. I knew it was a business platform. It was stuffy. It was boring. It was webinars. It was no real content. Nobody being themselves. Nobody being personable. And when I decided to put my hat on and started to just go downstairs every single morning and tell my story, tell my expertise, show what I know in the industry, show that I can do something, we ended up closing $2 million of deals without a cold call and email in the 2 years I was at the agency. Became a LinkedIn Black voice to follow and amplify. And I'm going to just keep it real. There's not too many like us that was doing it. And this brother right here was one of the motivations, right? You know what I'm saying? One of the motivations. He was up there every single morning, every day, man. Somebody that looked like me, somebody that I felt like I knew. And he was up there doing it, working with big brands, making sponsorship deals happen, creating opportunities for himself, changing his family's trajectory off of this thing, man. And I just want to say, brother, we're honored. I'm honored to have you on the show finally.
Yeah,
we're going to get to the shits today, bro. I can't wait.
Hey, I'm happy to be here. It's long overdue. Let's get it, man. Let's get it.
Yeah, so let me give you your proper intro, bro. Let me get the proper intro lined up, man. So first of all, this brother is more than just a sales expert. He's a 4-time LinkedIn sales voice and a leading figure in the realm of narrative-led growth. Despite initial hesitations about personal branding, this brother dedicated his life to amplifying brand narratives and content. With over a decade experience in content creation, his brother is at the forefront of movement towards content-driven conversations that drive revenue. He believes in today's saturated market, creating a standout brand narrative is the key to success. So today, what y'all going to expect is those going to be talking about B2B influence in marketing, mental health, how you grew up, daily content advice on sales, how do you get brand sponsorships, partnerships, and just how do you get to the place where he is today. So let's introduce our brother, Morgan J Ingram, y'all. Yeah. Man, let me get my horn.
Where's the air horn at? I was like, where's the air horn at? Come on.
I'm doing everything myself.
Let's go.
My guy, man, welcome to the show, man. Long overdue, but welcome, bro.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
Yes, sir, bro. Let's start from the top because for those listening, this is our first real conversation. Like we met at golden hour. We're like, bro. We gave each other the bro look. Like, come on, man. I'm glad we finally doing this, man. And we're gonna set a date. We set the date, and here we are. So I'm curious, bro. Tell us about your growing up, man. And then we'll segue into how you got into marketing, sales, and your career. But tell us a little bit about growing up. Where you from and all that?
Yeah. So born and raised Atlanta. Grew up
ATL, okay.
Yeah, I grew up in the A, and not an insane upbringing. Like it was like mom and dad been together. They still are together. I'm the oldest of 3 brothers, but growing up, my mom did something that was very helpful for all of us. Is that she pushed us to be more curious. So what I mean by that is she would always drag us to the library. Like I didn't like going at first. I was like, I'd rather play like video games. Like I don't really want to do this right now. But what I learned from that experience was how to push yourself to be curious, to learn, to grow, and to take those insights to go be good at whatever you wanted to go do. At the end. That to me was just a blessing. And from there, that curiosity just continued to spark. So went to University of Georgia. So go Dogs! I don't know if go Dogs out there. So we're coming back. We're coming back for our championship. We got gypped last year, but anyways, after I graduated, I went to public speaking, and I learned a lot about public speaking. I started a public speaking business, but then I went to the National Speakers Association, and they were like, "Hey, look, like you can keep speaking, but you need something to speak about. Like you need like some type of background or credentials." So I went and got a sales job, so a sales development rep job in the SaaS world. I learned how to cold call, email, LinkedIn, everything,
the
whole thing. And so that was awesome, because what that turned into was creating content on LinkedIn, like we just talked about, that led into me traveling the world, doing sales training for, Salesforce, Zoom, Google, all these different companies, and then has led into me creating my own company today. So that's the journey. It's probably, obviously there's pockets to discuss there, but that's where all that comes from.
So you said something super interesting, bro. What the hell made you start thinking about public speaking? Coming from where we from, that's not usually an option that we consider.
No. So I did mention one part. So when I was in college, my spring semester, I started my own company. And it was hosting video game tournaments on college campuses. So we hosted it on UGA. We hosted it at Kennesaw and Georgia Tech. Now, here was the pitch. The pitch was actually very, very simple. So I would go on Athens. So Athens, Georgia is where UGA is. And I would go inside one of the restaurants on a Wednesday. There's no one in there. So I would go and ask for the owner, say, "Hey, where's the owner at? Like, I have a question." And I asked the owner, I was like, "Hey, like, would you want more people here? Like, it doesn't seem like a lot of people are here." And so they would always be offended. They're like, "Well," I was like, "Well, no, I'm just saying, like, would you want more people here?" And they're like, "Yes." And I was like, "Well, there's gamers that never come here during the weekend and don't ever come here during the week because they're playing games. They're not going to come here. However, if we hosted a video game tournament, you would get new people in Foot Track if you've never seen before, and all you have to do is just host this, and like we could do it."
Message.
So they were like, "Oh yeah, that makes sense." And so basically, this is just a crazy idea, but basically we had the space for free because they would give it to us. We didn't have to pay for the video game because we already had the video games. And then all we had to do was get people there. And so that's what we did. And so it was pretty cool. We ended up getting sponsored by Dave & Buster's. We got sponsored by local breweries. And I was in college. I didn't know what I was doing. But that was probably that was what got into it. But the reason that story is important is because word on campus was I was doing this thing.
Yeah.
And so the Red and Black, which is like our main publication at UGA, asked to do a story on us. So me and my co-founder. And we did an interview. And then that was everywhere. And then organizations were asking me to come speak. And then as I spoke to those organizations, I realized like, oh, I actually love doing this. And then I did some more research and found that you could get paid to do it. And so then I was like, after college, I decided to do that. That's all it came to be.
Got it. And then the sales thing became a natural way. And then you had to start at the bottom with sales development. So you already know how that goes. But it's also another gem in that, right? Because I'm also curious, right? We're in college, usually funds is low. We're investing back in ourselves, bro. Was there any initial investment to make that thing, or was it profitable for you guys?
It was profitable business. I'm like, I'm looking back and I'm laughing. Like, it was a profitable business because there wasn't really an investment. The investment was to get the LLC.
That's a couple hundred.
That was really it. I'm just like flyers to like put around.
Today, Canva, couple bucks.
Yeah. Like Facebook we used Facebook back in the day. So like that was pretty much free. We didn't have to run ads. We basically ran it through the I went to each gaming group and that was actually a whole story in itself. The people, this is you're gonna laugh at this one. When I had to go get street cred with the gamers.
Okay.
Because they didn't believe that I could game. They're like, "You're gonna start this company. We don't think you're a gamer." So I got it. This was kind of crazy. I got invited to this spot where I had to play the top gamer and they all were there to see if I was good.
What game was it? I gotta know now.
Super Smash Bros.
So Super Smash Bros. They're like, yo, if you want us to come support your event, you better come beat him. And then you come to
bro, I was like, what? Pulled up to this dude's house. It's like 80 of them. Like, oh yeah, you're gonna play this guy. And I was like, okay. I was like, I know how to play. And so we went back and forth. He was really good. He ended up beating me, but like it was cool because they were like, all right, like you're legit. You're not like just some random dude just trying to start something. Like you can actually play video games. And so it was cool because that support, they all like corralled around it. They were like, all right, cool. Like, what do you need? Like, we can go get these people. We can get people from other colleges. We can get people from our cities. So they actually supported massive after they saw that I could game. I know it's a complete side note, but that was like super cool. That was like super cool to see.
But what was the shit when they came on? What was the height of that? You know, before you went to sales development, what was the height of that business? What was the mama made it moment for that?
Business? We hosted a video game tournament in the called the Georgia Civic Center.
Okay.
It's like the big like arena, or not like arena, like auditorium in Athens.
Okay.
Yeah. So we got that space, and then Dave and Buster's being a sponsor. I mean, that was probably the most ridiculous one, to be honest. I have no idea how we sold them on that.
So they're like, yo, look. So it's not a one-on-one sale when you're talking about Dave and Buster's, right? Because you would think, okay, I'm Dave and Buster's. Why don't you guys just come to my location, whatever, to my spot? You guys hook your games up. We do a game night, But they're doing it off-site, which is very unheard of. How the hell did you pull that off, bro? What the fuck? like, keep it real with me, bro. They just fucking cold emailed you and said, yo, we heard it.
So this is the crazier part. So my mom, I was telling my mom about the business, and she was like, hey, I know the guy at Dave and Buster's. I know like the general manager of the South, because we go there all the time. I'm going to intro you to him. So my mom hooked it up.
Shout out to Mama Love, man.
No, my mom's incredible. My mom's killing it.
Mama Love.
So my mom's like, yo, look at this intro. I'm like, okay, cool. So me and my co-founder would like drive out. It was in Atlanta, so we had to drive like an hour to get there.
Yeah.
And then so we pulled up, and what I sold them on, I was like, hey, look, like Dave and Buster's, like most of the Dave and Buster's are in the suburbs. They're not on college campuses. Like college kids aren't thinking about going to Dave and Buster's on the weekend. But I was like, imagine if you could get fraternities and sororities and other people that could get to this Dave and Buster's, but also you have gamers that are on these campuses and they probably want to get involved. And obviously if we have a bar night, other people are going to come through. So basically I sold them on saying, hey, look, like you have families that typically probably come in here, but do you have college kids? When they come home from university, are they going to come to Dave and Buster's? So you want to get awareness there. That's how we sold them on it.
Message.
Oh my goodness, bro.
Like I said, I've been selling, I guess.
Yeah, we just had that on another pod. We had it was just this week, just the last episode. And we had his brother on, Ty Smith. He actually does channel sales. And he was saying that to my cousin. He was like, yeah, man, we all sell. If you ever been in a barbershop debate about who your favorite rapper is, if you ever, anybody, you like your favorite team in sports, you're selling. I don't care what it is, right? It's a debate, right? You're putting your argument, you're solving a problem. What you did that was really impressive with that particular thing, you walked into this bar and you solved the problem. That's sales 101 for anybody listening. You said, wow, it's kind of empty. Could use some customers. You don't really care the demographic of that customer. You just want a paying customer.
Yeah.
Cool. So let me throw this idea at you. And then they end up being a hit. I wonder if they continue that afterwards.
So that's a good question. I have no idea at this point.
As a business owner, I'm like, I got games. I got 2K. I got Smash Bros.
Yeah, we ended up
types of shit.
We ended up partnering with the arcade bar downtown as well, and we ran weekly stuff for them, and we just brought people in, and we did a profit share with them. Like all this stuff was just crazy because like I was just like, instinctively, I was like, oh, this is what we should do. I had wasn't watching any videos or content. I was just like, I think we should do this.
Just do it, man. Yeah. That's another message, y'all.
Message.
Just do it.
We were just getting after it. So I learned a lot in that experience. I learned a lot.
But I can still tell, bro. I'm a gamer too, so I can tell you still got passion for it. I'm a 2K dude, right?
Yeah.
So like, what do you see as the opportunity right now? Because you don't see too many publishers doing. Like, you see some influencer things, but it's not to the effect where I don't think there's enough storytelling. Like for instance, right? For me with 2K, we're actually gonna try to get Ronnie 2K on for September. We're working on the dates right now, so I'm trying to get Ronnie on. But I've met dudes. I got a crew of 10 guys I play 2K with every day, every other day. Guys in Minnesota, Vermont, all this shit. We've never met. We've been 10 years.
Yeah.
We've never met each other. So what does that look like, right? If we could just show the connection of what gaming does, all different types of black backgrounds. It's a white dude, black dudes, all types of dudes, Spanish dudes, everybody in our crew. Yeah. So what happens if we get you guys to sponsor us going to a house, meeting each other, coming off the plane, showing the love, cooking, and just showing the camaraderie, right? And how it all leads back to 2K.
Yeah, I think ultimately at the end of the day, games are a great connector for sure. Like I have,
absolutely.
You know, we're playing Helldivers 2 right now.
I've never even heard of that. What is that?
It's you probably heard of Fallout.
Yeah,
so
I've heard of Fallout.
Okay, cool. So you drop it. So it's basically the same thing, except you're not fighting against other people. You're fighting against like other like enemies. So you're either fighting against like robots or you're fighting against like basically like bugs or whatever. It's a cool game. I like it a lot. So premise is that games is a great connector for people, and that's why I absolutely love video games. And to your point, it connects different cultures across the board. Like with my first Halo 2 clan, we were all from different, we never met in person, but we were from all different walks in life. If we were to all meet in person, it wouldn't matter what they looked like. We would have been like, yo, like, what up? Like, we played so many games together at this point. Like, here we are, right? And so that's what I really like about video games, is that it's a different element of connection and community that I don't think a lot of people talk about
at all. And it's still an untapped market. Untapped from that perspective, right? Like I said, there's not enough stories being told. There's a lot more. It's like product marketing. They're kind of, I think they're in like the B2B phase.
Yeah, 100%. They are.
Which is a good segue into, okay, cool. So as us as being sales professionals, right? So for those listening, sales development, that's usually the first role you get into tech. If you're in a sales role, right? You don't have any experience, that's the entry level sales gig, right? And what are you doing as sales development? You are booking appointments and calling leads in order to book meetings for either an AE or for yourself if you're in a dual role, right? So how'd you get into that, broski? Like you was like just sales, because you could have went the marketing route too and got a low entry level job.
So they wouldn't let me in.
Which makes all right.
So
You gotta get a screaming baby for that one, bro.
I think I applied to 15 roles and got denied. And I almost made, this is actually funnier. I applied for a CMO role, but I made it to the final round.
This is right after college.
Right after college. So I was so cerebral. I was like, here's the content schedule. Here's our messaging. Here's how we go about it. Because I've been studying this. Like I wanted to be a marketer. I was like, this is what I want to do.
Absolutely.
I don't want to be going to sales at all. And the only reason that I didn't get it was because they picked an agency instead. God willing, though, I'm glad that didn't happen because the company went under within 8 months after that. So it obviously was good that I didn't go there. But so then I was like, I guess I got to go sell. So then I applied for 15 sales roles and nobody wanted to take me because I didn't have sales experience. So someone told me to contact this company that just got funding called Terminus. I ended up cold calling the VP of sales. And I said, hey, I'll come in for an interview. I basically broke down the reason why I'd be good at the role. And so I started off as an SDR. And that was the best thing for me because I learned how to do cold calling, cold emailing, social, all that stuff. And they progressed me to the right path. So it was good.
Love it. So you know what's different with you and I, bro, which I love? When I first came into sales, I loved cold calling and cold emailing. I love the messaging. Yeah. I love to know what works for people, what works for certain people, for certain targets, all that stuff. I love being quick on the draw and being able to extract the problem. I love being able to get on somebody that you never even talked to, and now you're on the phone with them for an hour, and now you know all of their problems.
Yeah, exactly. They're they're spilling everything. It's
right. You've had them. You've had them, bro. But I can still hear the passion, right? What keeps you still passionate about that level role? Is it just knowing the psychology of what makes people tick or convert and things of that nature?
Oh yeah, it's two things. So one is exactly what you said, understanding the psychology of what makes people tick, because you're contacting people out of the blue and you're telling them to do something and they had no idea who you were. and now you've convinced them to do that thing. That, if you think about it, is pretty insane on a lot of different levels. And so for me, I always take that as like a blessing that I can even do that, right? So that's number one. Number two is life for me at this point is a video game. So like I just look at it as in like I could continuously level up and get better and better and better. And I'm like, how can I get better at scheduling meetings and getting people's attention so we can lead that into closing them? I'm thinking about this on like on a day-to-day basis. So that's just like the things that I think about a lot.
So what was your overall hypothesis? Because I'm going to tell you where I veered off, right? I used to pride myself in being able to get any high target, whether it be a VP, CMO, CEO, and I just had an innate ability to just get a response. I don't know what it was, right? But I can get a response, right? Somebody's working on the lead for a year, I'd be like, give it to me. I was like the cold file, the cold case guy. Give me the fucking cold case, and I'm gonna figure this shit out, right? And I would always do it. But then after a while, you realize all the actions it took to get that, right? And then even when I get you on the phone, what I realize is I'm still selling you and not solving, right? Because you're still guarded. Right, you're still guarding. You're not telling me the real problems. If I say the right trigger word, you may give me a couple of hints and clues, but it still wasn't increasing my close ratio the way I wanted to. So what I thought was like, shit, if I can get you to decide you want to work with me before you get on the call, which is via personal branding on LinkedIn, then my close ratio will go up exponentially. And that's what happened. But like you still on it, right? So like you're still on the cold call, still cold emails. Like what is your overall hypothesis? What advice would you give to somebody right now who's in an SDR sales role, especially with AI and all the tools and things they have at their resource at disposal? What should they be doing, bro? What should they be looking for?
So it's three components. The biggest mistake that people are going to make right now is they think it's only one way.
Message.
So they'll be like, hey, look, I only want to do content. Okay. I only want to do outbound, or I only want to learn AI and leverage technology. That's a mistake, because guess what we're going to do? We're going to do all three. So my whole thing is technology, or like intent signals, right? And that's what a lot of technologies are going to right now. Content and tailored outbound. My belief is if you do those three in a creative way, you'll be ahead of everyone else. So my passion comes from that is one of the three components that I'm focused on, because I can create really good content and have a good brand, but people may not feel compelled to reach out to me for whatever reason. But if I ever reach out to them on LinkedIn, they'll be like, oh, I know you are, super simple. So it's a combination of the three. If I know my intent signals and when to reach out with a tailored message, and I have a brand already, when you get on the call, it's just a conversation to figure out, is this a fit or not? I don't know to say a whole lot to you, because I hop on calls now and people are like, I know who you are, I've seen your work, like, just tell me what this needs to look like, and then we can figure out what it looks like from there.
And doesn't it make the sales process so much more enjoyable?
Yeah, exactly. More enjoyable. Like, they're going to open up because you've already established, which most sellers don't have, which is credibility and authority. Now, I would say at the end of the day, though, like, yeah, it's a little bit harder to create your brand as an SDR, to be fair. So I would just focus on the two elements of understanding technology and tailored outbound. You're still going to win. If you can build your brand alongside that, that's great. But right now, it's a combination game. Anyone who tells you that it's only one way is trying to spiral you in their funnel to sell you something. I'm just going to tell you that all three need to be being used at this point until I see otherwise. And this has been my evolution of thought in the past 6 months, where I'm like, I see everything that's going on. I'm like, great, I'm just going to learn it all. Why would I limit myself? That makes no sense.
Makes sense. But when you say tailored outbound, though, bro, right? So when you're developing a personal brand, you create content on a daily basis. You get 100,000 views. You get 300 likes. So when you say tailored outbound, are you going through your likes and actually creating a tailored cadence for the people that are liking your content, or are you doing on some other piece of content? I'm just curious.
Yeah. So there's three. Well, actually, there's a lot of different lanes, but let's just talk about the three main ones. So one is anyone who likes my content that could be a potential buyer. I'm hitting them up. Hey, I mean, and this is also super simple. Hey, thanks for liking my content. That's not hard. Like, anybody can do that. Then we're in a conversation, right? And I'm talking to people. So I spend a lot of time on LinkedIn, not to mess. I don't mess around. I actually have my feed blocked, by the way. I don't even actually know what's going. I actually don't know what's going on my feed.
How you block your feed?
There's a
What the point is what's the point of it? What the fuck? You just going as a blank screen? Is just what you post? What the hell does your LinkedIn look like?
That's it. I don't. It doesn't inherently. I have a spreadsheet of all the posts of all the people that I want to engage with, and I go see what they're posting and engage with them. But I don't care about the feed.
Okay.
Because it's distracting.
Nasty.
I can get that.
Most people scrolling, like, you're distracted. Now, there's also sometimes I'll turn it off and do intentional scrolling where I'm paying attention to hooks, call to action. I'm seeing what stops. Like, I'm studying it. But, like, how many people are like us?
Nobody's on it like that.
You know what I'm saying?
2%, 3% of the people may be on it the way we're on it.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, I use it when I'm intentionally going to scroll from a lens of I want to get better at my content. But again, like I said, like you just said, only 2 to 3% of people are doing that. So most people are just scrolling and they're doom scrolling. So I'm removing actually that friction of scrolling, and I just focus on just DMing people that liked my comment, viewed my profile, and I'm always in a conversation, because if you came to my profile, you were looking for something, and it probably is going to lead into a meeting. So I can schedule 1 to 3 meetings a day, whether it's a connect call that actually turns into a partnership, that turns into a referral, that turns into a thing. The thing is, like, I realized at the end of the day is that if you're like, I'm not moving forward in my business, is because you're just not talking to enough people. You're just not having enough, and not even sales conversations. You're just not talking enough. Like, you're not getting thoughts out there. You're not getting different pieces. So I literally live in my DMs at this point. I had a resurgence in the past 3 months because I was like, okay, what should I be doing? Oh, I'm just not doing enough because people know who I am based on my brand. I need to be messaging. I need to be interacting. Hey, what's up? Great to connect. What's going on? So number one is anyone who likes the content or comments, I'm going to say, hey, thanks for commenting on my content. Thanks for liking it. And here's the cool part.
Okay.
When I just say, thanks for liking the content, or if someone sees a connection request that says great to connect, they're like, hey, Morgan, love content.
Your shit.
So then I didn't even say anything. I literally just said thanks.
I can't wait for you to do this. And I thought you never asked. And you can't believe you said, hey.
Right. And so now it's unraveled. And now it's like, hey, do you want to come do this for our team? Or like, hey, I've subscribed to the newsletter. So I'm always gaining momentum every single day. That's my whole thing. And also, again, I'm going back to video games because life is really like a video game. You treat it like a video game, like, to me, it's just been more fun ever since I've really changed my mindset to this. Like, in the game, I'm trying to think. Have you played Legend of Zelda?
Yeah, of course. Hell yeah.
Okay.
The old Zelda. I'm talking about the original Nintendo Zelda.
Okay, where the fairy's like, listen. So
shout out to Pops. He used to make me play that shit. Love you, Pops.
Listen. So you know how you would go in those games and they would have quests, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, cool, I have quests. So you could treat your life like daily quests that you need to go get done. So the way I think about it is like, say, hey, I got to do, like, at bare minimum 30 DMs, I do 30 comments, I do like 30 videos. And so if I do that every single day, that's 480 DMs by the end of the month. Oh, that's alone. That's just the month. Imagine I did that for 6 months. That's about probably 25,000 messages. So at that point, you should be in a really good momentum if you're messaging that often. But then that's my bare minimum. Some nights, like last night, I was in flow state and I did like 100. But I also know, like, that's how you're gonna win, is the unscalables to some degree. We're in a market where a lot of things are fickle. We have the election coming up, so like it's just harder to get wins. So I know I just need more conversations and more activity on what I'm doing. And so, like, yeah, that's one piece. 2 is I do a lot of videos and voice notes. So that's a great way to personalize and get in front of people. Yeah. And then 3rd is like referrals. Referrals are a great way to get in front of people right now too, right? Because the trust is there.
Absolutely. Bro, referrals is how 90% of my business right now. Yeah. And the podcast. It'll be like, hey, well, come on, Donna. Actually, I know somebody. I need SEO. I need this. Oh shit, yeah, we actually do that. Oh shit, Jay, I forgot.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And then you're in a sales motion, bro. But I ain't gonna front. I'm about to fucking cut this podcast off short. You got me ready to fucking. I ain't doing enough, B. I ain't doing fucking enough, and I don't like it, B. Do you automate any of this shit? Because that's what I hated, right? Because I had do you know Quentin Allums? He was another big influencer. He used to have the
shout out to Q.
Q, you know Q, bro. So I had him on, and I fucking got him on the show, and I was like, yo, bro, You had me ready to fucking go out to wherever the fuck you are. You had me so pissed off. You hit me with an automated message, bro. I was like, yo, what's up for the podcast? You're like, hey, I'm Q, and I'm not right now. I'm not checking my inboxes, and I don't care what you think. I'm like, you don't do that to me, bro. Not me.
Yo, Q is hilarious.
Q is my dog, man. But like, are you automating any of this, bro? Because you would think, all right, 30 comments, 30 DMs. You're being very intentional with your motions, right? Get that, right? But how do you get the most, maximize your time, bro? Life be lifing, other shit be happening. Are you automating any of this?
This motion is a new mechanism that we're running.
Okay.
I ran this motion when I first started, but we're running it right now because of overall social, how all these things that work, we just know it's finicky. So we're trying to get as much own audience as we can. So I'm owning the process to see what works and what doesn't. So I'd probably say in the next 2 to 3 weeks, it will be automated where a lot of the stuff I'm telling you, like we can get it done. Like basically the whole goal is that like anyone who likes the post that has not been engaged with will get, hey, great, thanks for liking this post. And then it will automatically be done. And then once that's automated, then I will carry the conversation from there. Because then obviously I'm going to try to sell them at that point, or it might just be a catch up. But I'm going to automate every single one where if they have not been contacted, if they have not connected with, we're going to send them a connection request. And then we'll say, hey, thanks for liking the post. And we'll go from there. Right now, I'm doing it because I need to understand what the process is. Yeah. And so I can show people how to do the process and I can delegate it and move on. But I don't want to just give it to someone and not show them what I'm doing, because there's different components right now of how I'm going about it. And I just want to make sure that I can understand it.
Nah, that makes a lot of sense, bro.
Yeah.
Shit. So, but what technology are you thinking to outsource it to? Are you getting somebody person? You want to get your own?
I would get a person. I would get a person to do it.
Oh, okay, makes sense.
Yeah, I'll get like a VA, but via offshore, probably a VA for the Philippines.
Makes sense. Hey, let's talk offline. I might have a few for you.
Yeah, I have one.
Oh, because I'm trying to get my process simplified too, bro.
Yeah. I have a VA right now, and she does. She's been doing other tasks like things to gather data, information on things that we need. But this LinkedIn piece is where I want it to go next. But I need to like build the process first, because I don't want to be like, hey, here's your task, and then like it's not what we need. I need to make sure that it's right.
Yeah, but there's some tools that kind of do shit like that. I know you heard of like LeadJet and a few other ones, right?
I'm nervous about the tools because I've seen 3 people already get removed from their profile.
Oh, okay. You talking about for like the Shield Analytics or shit like that?
Even more than that. Like
which one?
Just there's like I think a Phantom Buster, Shield. There's some other ones out there, but I know people who have 90,000, 120,000 followers, and they might have used this tech, and then now their profile got stripped without them knowing. Because right now LinkedIn has AI that tracks. I'm
just saying, fuck.
Why? That's what it looks like. So the thing is, AI tracks everything on the LinkedIn platform. Humans are starting to slowly but surely be pulled away. So what that means is that everything is being tracked by AI, and it's going to make mistakes. So your profile could get deleted, and you wouldn't even know. So that's why I'm saying, I'm like, I don't even want to go there because I don't want to get deleted. I have 150,000 followers. I don't want to get deleted right now.
And I'm going to ask you a good question too, bro. Matter of fact, let's get into the fun shit. And I'm going to ask you the serious question behind it, right? So you have 150,000 followers on LinkedIn. What was the one follower connection that made you say, holy shit? Who was the one that you were like, you were watching my content? And I'll tell you mine.
Like they sent me a connection request, or I sent them one?
Or you just started a conversation. Either one. You know what I mean? But it's like, I can't believe I'm talking to this person right now. Who was that for you on LinkedIn?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was when it was a collection. It was earlier on, and I think that's when it really sparked for me. And I was like, what is going on? It was our VC firm.
For the company that you were working at.
Yeah. They all sent me connection requests and said, we love the content. I'm like, wait, what? Like, what do you mean you love the content? I've only been here for like 8 months, and I'm an SDR. Like, what are you talking about? Like, y'all invested in this company. Like,
but let's tell people, because a lot of
people, why are y'all paying attention to my content? It was a wild thing for me. I was just very confused. I was like, huh?
But let's break that down, right? So let's explain to the people that are not from sales, right? Okay, for instance, you're at a sales company, right? And the VC firm are the people that invest in the company, right? So he was an SDR. He was the person that's booking appointments, generating revenue for the account reps, right? He's creating content on LinkedIn. And now the people who are investing in the company are seeing his content and saying, oh shit, we love your content, right? Because you know why? They know it's driving the business forward, right? Yeah. So at that point, you as an SDR, what kind of leverage do you have? And how do you utilize that leverage? Because now they like your content. Yeah. And now, you know, you're doing something that your boss isn't doing. Your VP probably isn't doing. No. You know what I'm trying to say?
So nobody was. Except, how do you deal with that shit? Our CMO was. Deal with it in terms of like, how do you deal with other people or deal with it as leverage?
Deal with it as a leverage or as a negotiating tactic to further your career.
You know, one of them, we haven't talked in a while, but one of them actually was my mentor. So I use that as like to get insight and information.
Dope.
I think also as well, I just use it to just get insight. And I ended up becoming a manager of the team, of the SDR team. So I think that probably played a factor that I was creating content, to be honest. I don't think if I was creating content, I don't know if I would have gotten that role or not. I don't think I would have.
Message.
And that was 8 months into the role. You already gotten the raise, and now your job is much easier because now you're just telling people, you're giving people your playbook.
Yeah, it was giving people the playbook. I actually really enjoyed that piece, and I mean, it was because it was right after that. Yeah, I was a manager, and then I got recruited to go to JB Sales. So then, then it was right after that. So because I was a manager for a year. Yeah.
And after that, what did you leave corporate after that? What made you leave that particular opportunity? Because if you got the VCs looking at you, you've got those relationships, you're getting the insight, you're getting business knowledge that not many are privy to at that point, right? So you can really negotiate that. You're a smart brother. You know exactly how to position yourself to be able to, you know. So what made you leave there? What happened with that opportunity?
Two things. A better opportunity came because I joined John, and I was asked to do full-time sales cycle so I could learn sales and also sales training, and I could travel the world and doing that. And I was like 24. So, I mean, at that point, I kind of was like, that's a better opportunity. Also, as well, I had a gut.
Sorry, you got to get a horn.
No, you're good. But I had a gut feeling, and I typically listen because it's right, that the company wasn't about to do well. Like something was off. And I knew if I went to the next role, there'd be more responsibility, but I didn't really want that. And then I just saw like everyone that was an executive, they'd always just seem stressed out. And I was just like, like, exactly. So I was observing. I'm an observant person. I was observing. I was like, I don't know, like, if I make more money for sure, but I was like, I don't know if I really want that. Like, I've created this platform, this brand. I could probably go like do this other job, do this other piece where I could go travel and go to places in the world I've never been to and learn from someone that, it's only 3 people in the company. So clearly I'm going to get a lot of insight and advice. And I was like, for these other relationships, I always told myself I didn't want to take the Series A, Series B, Series C route. I never want to do that because I just saw how stressed the founders always were. And I was like, I don't really want to be that stressed. Like, I'm good. So I think it was just like a combination of all those things that I was like, yeah, it's time for me to go. So I ended up leaving the company, and I ended on good terms. Like, I still talk to everybody there. It wasn't anything bad, but that's what I did.
That's love. And then you said you went to JB Sales. And then when did you start sales for the culture? When did that come about?
Late 2018, early 2019.
Yeah. And talk to me about that, because I know a few of the brothers on Sales for the Culture, man. Shout out to them, Marcus, and a few of them. You know what I mean? Shout out to the bros.
Shout out to Sales for the Culture, man. So with that, like, I was getting so many DMs from people that were, coming up in the game that were African American and really trying to understand what was going on. And they were asking me like, hey, you're the only person I can ask, like, what does this mean? Like, I'm getting treated this way, and like, what does it actually mean? And so up to a certain degree, I can only help you. Like, if you're like director or VP level, like, I never went that route. So I've never been an exec or at that moment, I did join another company. I was for like 8 months or 8 weeks, so this doesn't really count. But I wasn't an executive, so I couldn't speak whatever that was going on. I was like, I don't know what that means. And also there was a lot of scenarios that I didn't know, and also the volume was pretty high. So what I ended up doing is saying, hey, look, like, let's take a step back, and what we're gonna do is create sales for the culture, and that's gonna allow people to have a space where they can have conversations and that's the reason why I created it. I just saw the need for it, and went from there.
Is it still rocking? And like, because I haven't seen a lot of the folks. I feel like life been lifing for a lot of people, and I haven't seen a lot of people on the feed, bro.
Exactly, life been lifing. I mean, that's really what it was. It had its great movement. It's what it was. Yeah. Transparently, like when I start things, one thing I should have done, and I've done with the business I have today, is have someone who can do the day-to-day. I started it knowing that it was important, but then as it got into like more of like actually like running the group, because I traveled so much, like there was just so much going on. I couldn't really do it the way I wanted it to. So I believe that group, for what it was during that time, was great for people to connect, and a lot of relationships came out of that for people. I wish it would have continuously accelerated to where I wanted it to go. But I think the main thing for me on that one was I wish I would have just like found someone to be like, you're going to like run this day to day. Here's how you're going to do it. And then I'm just going to tell you the vision of what needs to be done, et cetera. But I think for the moment it really connected a lot of people across the board.
But it's still a void that needs to be filled, bro. So if you guys aren't doing it, who the hell's doing it? Right? Mm-hmm. I know there's some from the women's standpoint. I know Zoya's doing it. I know Chantel George is doing it with Sisters for Sales. You know what I'm saying? But like, just overall the group, right? Why aren't we all coming together? Why isn't Sister for Sales, Zoya's group for women in training? Why aren't the men groups in training? Why isn't Sales for the Culture? Why aren't we coming together and doing more fucking collaborative work, bro? I think it's ridiculous at this point.
That's a very great question. I know I got a friend out in the UK. He's got a group as well that is focused on this too, and I think it's more for like the MIA folks. I don't know why it's not all connected. I don't have an answer to that question.
It makes zero sense. But it also, like for instance, us, right? It took us 3 years to connect, bro.
Yeah.
So I've spoken to founders of Sales for the Culture. We've had so many mutual friends around. We just haven't got to this point, right? And I think that's kind of what it is, right? It's not too many people that say in the intro. Like what I do after every show, me and Cuzzo, after every show, we ask for the guest number, right? And we're like, yo, welcome to the family. So if there's anybody that we've talked to that you want to connect with, I don't care who it is, you let us know. We make that introduction immediately.
Yeah.
Right? Like we try to do shit like that, right? I don't think there's too many of that happening. Because you know why? Let's keep it all the way real, bro. Crab in a barrel mentality. Yeah. Sometimes we don't want people to outshine us. Sometimes we feel like, yo, this is my opportunity. I worked hard for this. You didn't. And I'm not going to put you in a position over things like, let's just be honest. And it's a lot of gatekeeping.
It's a lot of gatekeeping. It's unnecessary at this point.
Come on.
There's no need for it. And everyone has different skill sets. Everyone has different ways on how they're going about to market. Like no one is going to stop you from doing what you're doing. Like that's not going to happen. So I think ultimately at the end of the day, like it is unfortunate that it's that way. And it definitely does need to change. But to your point, like it shouldn't be that way at all.
Well, we're going to do something, bro. We've got some relationships right now on LinkedIn. We're actually going to Con this year. So we're in partnership with Black Ed Con. We're going to go to Con. We're going to show them what it is from the couch to Con, what the opportunities. But I just feel like I just want to do an event. I want to do an event sponsored by LinkedIn. That's what I want to do. I want to do a Black Creator Conference for LinkedIn. You, I, Madison, Janice, Dr. Janice. I want Dr. John Graham. I want the ones that are out there every single day. And let's make it an experience now. And how can we monetize that? Like, I want to be able to, if you take a picture, like how they would do a Chris Brown's concert, right? You want a picture with Morgan for $25 or $50, you can monetize that, right? You want a little bit of
monetize something.
Like, why not? Right? Yep. And why not? It's going right back to us. We should be, because we put in a lot of investment. And if we're going to talk about that, let's talk about LinkedIn. What do you feel about monetization on LinkedIn? What do you think about, first of all, how do you feel Black content creators are treated on LinkedIn? That's something I would love to know from you, because I've talked to many of them. Everybody's having a different experience.
Oh, man. Like, I think most are treated unfairly, for sure. Most are treated unfairly, and it's unfortunate, and I don't like the way that it is. I don't know what that means behind the scenes. I think also as well, like, everyone's content is different in their messaging, so I haven't seen everyone's messaging, but I've heard the majority of the time that's the case.
Some are more brash than others.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So
so some are like, holy shit. You said that, and I love them for it.
Yeah. So if they are coming after you, like, okay, you kind of
did it. Yeah, I love it. You needed to be said, but thank you.
Respect, but like, like you're kind of going out there, like, that's kind of on you. So like, I can't help you there if you're like literally loading up the cannon and shooting at them. Like, they're gonna shoot back. So
hold on. I gotta give you a welcome. They're shooting back.
They're gonna shoot back at you. So like, to a degree, it's like you're shooting. So they will shoot back. I would say majority of the time it is unfair. I think ultimately at the end of the day, like, there isn't enough though of, like you said, Black collaboration on the platform. So there's also a place where there has to be more of the banding together. Like,
absolutely.
I always joke with Kevin Dorsey, KD. You probably seen his content.
Man. Shout out to KD. You supposed to come through, man. KD.
Where's he at?
You supposed to be episode 33.
Oh, KD. What are you
KD,
doing?
come on, baby. Nah, that's my guy, but good brother, man. But I know life be life, and we be moving, man. So
the thing is that, like, I thought I was the only Black person in SaaS, like, straight up. I actually thought I was the only one. So when I joined the company, I was like, all right, I guess I'm the only one, whatever. I went to private school, so like I'm kind of used to this. But so I saw him and I was like, oh, there's other people. Oh, sick. And so it's unraveled and now there's more. So I think ultimately at the end of the day, like, there has to be more banding it together. And this is stuff we talk about sales of the culture, but more banding together outwardly on the content that we create. And I think a lot of people that I speak to that want to create content, they're just so focused in their role that they're like, I don't really have time for that. I got to focus on being great at this role because I'm already up against a battle internally. Now I got to go do this externally. I don't want to do all that. So I think that's what it also comes down to as a part of it as well.
It's a lot. I think it's a lot, bro. I think one is messaging the content. I'm gonna keep it all the way real. Let's keep it a stack. I know a lot of different Black content creators, and I feel like we're all different levels. I feel like the ones that are not lit on LinkedIn but are lit in real life, they feel some sort of way. I feel like they gatekeep a lot. I'm just keeping it real. I know a lot of affluent Black dudes in this industry that it would be like, bro, I just come on the show. Just be real. Just do this. You know what I mean? Just be on it. Hey, we see me in person. Jarrett, I love you, my main man. Give me the hug, the Marlon Wayne shit. I'm like, God damn, bro.
Like, relax. Like, it's all right, man.
Like, there's a lot. But then when I'm asking you to come on the show, it's a problem, right? Or you don't hear that one, all right? But we gatekeep too much. There's a lot of that. I know for me, bro, and I can tell you went to private schools. I'm glad you said that, bro, because I went to private school too. So I can tell, right? So with my audience and my content is kind of different, right? So my audience who I'm trying to reach are the people that are not going to be on LinkedIn. It's going to be the brother that's in front of the store right now that's like, yo, there's no way out. But guess what? I know Jarrett because he was just here in front of the store.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? That's the person I'm trying to reach, right? And if I reach other people in tech, cool, fine, and dandy, yes, I would love to do that. But that's what I'm trying to reach. I'm trying to show people like, yo, you ain't got to fucking work at McDonald's. You know, if you're actually doing the shit that you're doing right now with your social media and actually looked at your analytics and actually was intentional with your movements, you can make 6-7 figures and change your family's trajectory. That's the message I'm putting out. Right? Exactly. Not everybody's on that type of time, bro. But it's like, and then you have the one like Madison Butler who's talking about the Black experience, right? And she's being shadow banned, right? And what does that look like? Who determines who gets shadow banned and what doesn't get shadow banned? So what's performing, not right? Even you said it, like if they shooting off the cannons, right? But do we not support them still? You know what I'm trying to say? Because it affects our brands if I jump out the window. So now there's all these different things that are playing into effect that show why we can't really support the way we want to.
Yeah. Which is unfortunately with every single platform, right? Is like that's how it's going to be, right? Depending on what you say. Like TikTok has certain parameters. There's been A/B tests shown that if you say certain things, they'll be not obviously elevated as others. Like all these things.
What are those things? Do you know what those things are on TikTok? Because I might have been saying some shit and wondering why I should have stuck on 200.
Yeah,
my bad, bro. I didn't. My to stop you right there. I got a few videos stuck at 233, bro. Talk to me.
Anything anything around like red, I'm just telling you, anything or like there's like a whole thing on this. Anything that typically is like exposing the government, conservative, could even be red pill, these things of the nature like will be like, nah, you can't say that stuff. And you will actually get less of reach. And there's been actually examples of this where it's like, or even when if you're calling out China, like you're not going to get elevated. There's examples of videos that like say like, and the thing is, they'll post the same video like on Instagram and it'll like we'll do more. Same exact video.
Which makes me wonder, especially for that platform, right? So if you're saying conservative stuff, the government stuff, right? Boom. So if I'm creating educational content to educate our community, what makes you think they wouldn't push that down so we don't further in ourselves?
There's a whole stuff in the back end. Like people say there's not a lot of stuff in the back end, but there definitely is for sure. And these are just A/B tests that I've seen people post about, and I'm like, there definitely is. There's mechanisms behind the scene. There always is. Like there's things that are programmed for the platform to work. It isn't just like an engine that's just random.
Yeah.
If they don't like something, they don't like it. They're gonna come after you and be like, nah, that's not happening.
I'm gonna have to optimize my shit. I'm just trying to educate the brothers. And they got me stuck at 233. I'm educating 2 brothers at a time.
Yeah. You need to post more. That's basically the mechanism. You need to post more. That's what they're telling
me. I'm hitting them with 6 a day on TikTok. I can't do anymore.
Thanks. 6 a day. Jeez, I don't know. I can't tell you any more than that.
I'm hitting them with 6. I'm hitting them with in and outs. I'm in and out shit. We did the walkthrough in the hood. We brought Mike Barrett. That's probably the best one we did. We brought Mike Barrett through. We brought him to Forest Projects, and we actually showed him what it's like in the projects, and that flew. But other than that, I mean, yeah, Beyonce's pop. I'm like, there's only 2 brothers that see this.
Yeah, I think that's. I'm not gonna say that that's the reason, but like,
yeah,
but like, there are mechanisms behind the scenes. Like, I don't like be naive to that. As I tell people, like, that's a real thing.
No, so that's the message, right? So all of these platforms are man-made, right? There's triggers and things that make it work. And at the end of the day, all these platforms have one underlying goal: create revenue, drive revenue, get eyeballs, impressions, so they can sell ads against those impressions. That's essentially what it is, right? And they're taking our data and giving it back to the brands that are buying the ad impressions, right? This person likes this person does this, or they like this video mostly, and all this other stuff. That's the entry to get into these social media platforms. We're not paying for anything, so guess what? We are the product.
Yeah, exactly. So how they decide they want to use it moving forward is like predicated on them, and that's not. Unfortunately, it's a little bit out of our control at that point.
Yeah, man. So I'm curious too, bro, because we talked about LinkedIn too. But what as far as the omni-channel strategy, what other is it? TikTok, Instagram? Which other platforms have been?
I hate TikTok. Successful? I really hate TikTok a lot.
I do too. I told you, bro. 233.
I just don't like anything about it. I don't like how toxic people are on there. I don't like how the community is. I just don't like anything about it, and how I just don't like it. So I posted stuff on there because I was like, oh, TikTok, but like it just for my well-being. Like I will probably post stuff on there. I told my team, y'all could post stuff on there, but don't tell me what people say. I don't even care. Like that's what we're gonna do. Just because it's a good growth mechanism, but I just don't care about it. Like I really don't. I'm good. The ones I'm focused on right now are YouTube and Twitter and LinkedIn.
Okay.
And then a mix of Instagram in there too. Like those are like my buckets of focus.
So talk to me about YouTube. That same thing for us. It's YouTube and LinkedIn right now. YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram. Right? YouTube, we got just this year alone, we're like 400,000 views, bro, so far this year on YouTube.
That's
we got
great.
Like 900 something subs. We're like this close to monetization, right? So what we're doing for the strategy is, as you know, shorts, right? Shorts is what's moving. We're using the shorts to get the subs. We're using the long form content to boost up the watch hours so we can get to monetization, which also drives subs equally. You know what I'm saying? So what have you seen? Have you seen anything different, bro? Because I'm just curious.
That's about it. I mean, we're going to start dabbling with the community tab. I don't know if you've used that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I put pictures, everything. Vote on something. Who do you want next? You want Morgan on Tuesday? That's what he's coming on Tuesday anyway.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, we already preceded it. So I think the thing at the end of the day is that, like, yeah, that's what we're doing. We're really focusing on thumbnails and titles right now in our journey. And I think that we'll start to see some traction there. But, yeah, we're going to start going hard, like, starting next week. Because we had to make a couple modifications on what we wanted to do. So,
but how are you? So our strategy is slightly different because what it is, we're optimizing based on the people and their notoriety, right? Or whatever topic they're talking about. So if I have Beyonce's dad or Matthew Knowles is talking about sales, marketing, business, entertainment, things like that. So I've got to make sure the titles are clickbaity, but not clickbaity. And then when I'm just A/B testing a lot of different things. And I'd be surprised. You know what's working the best for me? Out of all the content we put up there, all the information we get up there, it's 2 topics. It's when you became a millionaire and fucking relationships.
Yeah.
Let me talk about a relationship. That shit, phew. I'm like, God.
Well, okay. So the 3 primary buckets that people care about the most are You just mentioned two of them: wealth, relationships, and essentially like their health, working out, whatever it is.
Well, health, relationships.
So in terms of wealth, like we fall in the bucket, sales, business. I mean, I'll just tell you all the strategy we're doing right now. Like YouTube, you could go on YouTube. I could search anything. I could literally type in like how to handle an objection. So we just find the video that actually ranks the highest. We modify that. We basically do the same title or if similar, and then we just record that video.
Message.
Message. I said, so you're basically just reverse engineering it. You're looking for the topic that you do. Whoever's ranking the highest, you're basically taking that title and just creating that video and then just basically
with our spin on it. Because whatever they said, it's probably actually not what I'm going to say. I already know that. So I actually don't really watch it. I just like, okay, that's working great. We just take it and we'll just record it. Because like my approach, I know is probably different than most people's.
I'm not mad at that.
Yeah, see, and also my delivery is, even if it's the same, my delivery is going to be different, 100%.
Absolutely. So and how have you? Because we've talked about this off too, and I think it's a great segue, right? We talked about imposter syndrome. We talked about dealing with hate, right? I haven't gotten much hate on LinkedIn. I haven't done that. I don't know if you've gotten that on LinkedIn. I've got a ton of hate on YouTube. How have you done with hate, comments, whatever? Somebody just not feeling your shit. They DMing you saying some stuff. Like, how have you dealt with that?
Yeah, I mean, earlier on it was like really tough, man. Like I almost stopped because like 2016 to 2018, I got a lot on LinkedIn. But again, you have to like realize like I was the only person doing it. So like it was so foreign that no one understood it. And also I wasn't an executive. I hadn't exited a company. I didn't raise a round. I wasn't a CEO. I was a sales rep. But I was getting more attention than like other brands. So people are like, wait, what's going on? Like, who is this random kid out of nowhere? So yeah, I had a lot of people being like, yeah, you're not qualified to do this. Like I had a lot of people saying that. So that was like really discouraging because like there was no malicious intent. I wasn't calling people out. So that makes you just feel some type of way. Now though, like I don't care. So like the thing is that like nobody knows, and Gary Vee said this, nobody knows 100% of your life. So if you think of it that way, like everyone's feedback is only looking at it from a 0.01% lens.
Message.
That's real.
So for me, when someone says something negatively, I pretty much laugh at it and I like move on. Like I don't really care. Like it's not gonna do anything to me. And if they saw me in person, they wouldn't even say anything to me. So unless if it's super egregious and like they want to like come like kill my family or something, and like that's a little bit different. Like we gotta But most of the negative stuff, I end up just deleting it, or like I'll just like laugh, or I'll just troll them back. Like I've literally trolled a guy back. It was like a YouTube video. I talked about like how to like grow your content, and I was talking about it from LinkedIn, but I don't have a lot of YouTube subscribers. So he was like, I don't know, you can't make he's like, this video is bogus because you're making a video about like about content and you're like not popping off. So I trolled him and I said, well, clearly it works because you viewed it.
Message.
and so he was like, all right, you got me. So like me, I joke with people. Like I'm not really that. It's not that deep to me because my thing is I feel bad for people that leave negative comments because it means you're in a bad spot in your life. Like I've never left a negative comment because I just don't have time to do it. I'm not in a negative state most of the time. And also it's just a waste of time. You don't get anything out of it. So I never feed the trolls. I don't really care. Most of the time I delete it or I ignore it. But if it's something egregious, I will say something. But for the most part, I just move on.
I feel you. Shit, I ain't gonna lie to you. On YouTube, they know I clap back like Wendy's. I wish
shout out to Wendy's.
Smacking people on that.
Shout out to Wendy's. They don't play around. Holy smokes.
Whatever. That's one of my dream interviews. I ain't gonna front. I'm gonna get that person too. I want to know who's ever handling their social media.
You know what's like? Look, like no shade. We're not being racist. You know it's a white girl, right?
I heard.
That's crazy to me.
Bro,
she gotta be like out here. like
bro. Some of the illest campaigns I heard about, bro. Like I had Eric Toto on here. He's the global social media manager for Meta. And he was telling me about a story when he was at Airbnb, bro. And they were saying how he basically told his team, it was right after the Super Bowl, Beyonce mentioned Red Lobster or something like that. He goes into his team. He's like, yo, if some shit like this ever happens, we get 5 minutes to respond. 5 minutes. You drop what you're doing and you fucking get to it. What's the odds a couple hours later, Beyonce mentions his Airbnb? Yo, it was a panic attack. He said, yo, we're in the panic room. We got like 3 minutes, 30 minutes in. And we're like, we all don't know what the fuck to say. He said some random girl, white lady, she was the social media manager, something. She pulled out her phone and put Airbnb. Press send. Everybody held their breath. Shit went viral. Airbnb. Airbnb, just fume. I'm like, oh God. Just that simple. I would love to be in a room like that, just to see what is like in that type of moment.
Exactly.
What is the line, right? When it's too much, because it's all good when it's fun and games. But if you cross a certain line, now what does that do to the brand?
Spirals down.
That's it, man. Yeah. That's it. But we're talking about like controlling and things like that, though. What was your notoriety, your visibility at the height? And what was it at the lowest? And how did you deal with the low points, bro? And I would love to share my story with you too when you finish, bro. At the height of LinkedIn or all your social media, like what were you averaging a year in terms of impressions?
It's a little bit harder because LinkedIn's out and they didn't have analytics back then.
They didn't have analytics in 17?
No.
Oh,
no. There was, literally it was like, there was like no analytics. It was like, you kind of just were like, you saw your impressions, but you couldn't track it. And that's what's like harder. Like I would probably tell you it was probably between like 10 to 15, maybe.
Shit,
that's 1 year, maybe like 2018. I'm giving you a range. Like it was a lot. I was getting like 100. Some posts I get like 100,000, 200,000 impressions.
That's it.
Like, and like
20. I thought you would do that on a post.
That's what I said. A post. That's what I said.
Oh, okay. All right. Got you.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you got 100. That's a post for you.
No. I said 100, 200 a post. Now, no, it's a lot different now. Like it's
now it went down.
Everyone's gone down a little bit. But there's still mechanisms to get up to some good lengths. But yeah, I get 100 to 200 a post. 2018, 2019 was about 10 to 15 million, probably for each one of those years for sure. And you're just going, like, I don't know, it's hard to explain. Like you just talk about momentum and things of that nature. I feel like honestly my lowest point was probably at the beginning of 2021.
I was gonna guess the pandemic.
Because I didn't care about the content anymore.
Talk about that. How did that?
But think about it. That's 5 years of doing the same topic.
It gets redundant. What do you say next? How do you make it fresh?
But it's not just that, it's the DMs and the questions. So the questions are the same. So even though it's a different person, it's the same questions. So you treat them as the same person, which is not right, but I'm just letting people know like what happened. So yeah, at the beginning of 2021, I was like, I don't want to do sales training anymore. I'm exhausted by answering these questions around pipeline. I don't care about sales development. This is what's happening in my head. So I was getting burnt out and I just did not care. Everything was like me going through the motions. And I can answer it because I understand it, but I just didn't care. So I tell people when you get to that point, you need to assess what else you could be talking about so you can push through that moment. Because if you're known for something, it's hard to like pivot and go to something completely different. I still talk about the outbound today, but I have a resurgence on it. Like I'm like, understand what I need to talk about now. Like I'm good with it. But yeah, man, my low point was just like, I was very nil. I just didn't care about what we were talking about. Like I would literally answer someone's questions and things of that nature. I even told somebody like, I don't know, they were in person. They asked me a question on sales development. I was like, that's a good question, but I just don't really care.
Sometimes you got to say that.
I'm just trying to be real. I was just like, I was like,
that.
I understand I have the answer, but like, I actually I'm like my soul is not here to answer. Now, obviously, I did at some point answer. I wasn't that able about it, but like, I'm just being real. Like, this is just what happens. You create so much content. You're like, I actually don't really care about this at all. And now I've had to reframe it where like I'm on another run now, and I'm feeling very grounded on what I need to do. So I have another about 3 to 4 years of just straight content creation grind. And I could tell you why 3 to 4. There's a reason behind that.
Okay.
But for me, like my lowest point was that beginning of 2021, I was like, I don't want to create this content anymore. I felt very empty about it. I'd respond and I didn't care.
That's real.
But I had to keep it up, and it was just hard because I just didn't care about it anymore. So yeah,
that shit is tough, bro. That's kind of what happened with me. When I first started, it was fun. It was just like, hey, look, I'm betting on myself, right? My CEO at the time said, look, this is how we're getting leads right now. I'm on Twitter. I got 50,000 followers. I'm doing webinars. I'm doing lead gen content. I'm doing workshops. You name it. I'm like, okay, cool. All I heard out of that was I didn't got to sell these fucking 1,000 emails.
Yeah.
That's what I heard. I said, okay, cool, because that's not what you're doing, right? But if I can make it to the point where they want to come and speak to me directly, they're going to go to the website. They're going to check your credentials. They're going to go to your content and say, hey, these guys are together, and all I'm going to have to do is solve at that point, right? So that's what I did, bro. I went down there. I started going every day. It was fun. I'm coming up with new topics, but I'm all over the place, right? So what made me different was I would give you SEO advice, and the next day I just might be tired as fuck and be like, yep, the baby didn't sleep last night. I don't really give a fuck about none of this shit. But this is life. It's parenting, right? Like, this is what it is. This is what I did. And people would relate to that. You know what I'm saying? Kobe Bryant passed away. I definitely said something about that. It was Valentine's Day. How do you slide in the DMs discreetly and not funny?
like that's what we were doing. How do you not get got? All right.
How do you not get got on the joint? So that's what we was doing, bro. And it became fun. But then something happened. My grandfather passed away during COVID.
Yeah. Sorry for your loss.
No, thank you, bro. I appreciate it. And it was a low moment. So it was at the height of my shit. My impressions, I could say anything. I gotta be like, AB, baby. And that shit's gonna get like 20,000. I'm like, holy shit. You know what I mean? More than some brands, right? That would get. And I remember just being ghost. And then just people checking up on me. What made me really tick was then I saw my CEO. He's like, yo, where's Jarrett been on LinkedIn? I'm like, what the fuck? Like I'm in a space right now. Like I don't even know what's going on right now. Just happy I'm showing up. I'm in this crib. I got my kids. It's a pandemic. I'm masked up. You talking about do content? I'm doing 1,000 meetings while teaching my 3-year-old, and my other son has regents. And I'm like, yo, it's so much shit going on. I couldn't think about LinkedIn. But then I realized how much of a value it was for his business, and it started to feel like a job. And I didn't want it to be my part of my job because LinkedIn was my thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was my getaway. That's my audience. That was my leverage for me to get the hell out of anywhere and do what I need to do and make something sustainable for my family. Yeah. And we ended up doing it. It took 3 years. And the problem was, you know what I'm saying? The thing with me is, like, I build a relationship. That's my whole selling point. Is relationships. Do I know sales? That's why it's more than entitled. I know sales. I know marketing. I've done SEO. I could break your website down. I've done programmatic. I've done ad sales. I've done paid social. You name it.
Utility. I think actually
more than the title.
Here's something that's actually really important for everybody to understand as well, because you just said something. Is like, and don't. I want people to not think of this in an aggressive way, and a lot of people will, but you need to understand what I'm saying. Your whole core mechanism is to become a weapon. Now, what does that mean? That does not mean I want you to go and kill people. That's not
message.
People aren't gonna. People are
sniper, bro.
People aren't gonna hear that right. The thing is, when I talk to brands, especially right now, is what we're selling and we're offering. They're like, we want to get off the defensive and be offensive.
Okay.
If you want to be offensive, you need a weapon. Now, you could be defensive with a weapon, but it could be too late because they're gonna get a jump on you. But the goal is to become a weapon and be offensive. And you be offensive by having these skills that you just said. If you can do all these different things, you're going to be way more valuable in the marketplace. And ultimately, you're going to be more successful. So, like, for me, when we go back to talking about content, that's what happened with me. It became a job. It just became a chore. It became like, I'm just like in this cog and I can't get out of it. And it was like just pissing me off. So I stopped posting sales content for a year and a half. That led to probably less engagement and impressions, to be fair. Which I went through, and I'm okay with that because I didn't want to talk about it because I didn't care. But now I've gotten back to like, okay, I do want to talk about it again, but I have a resurgence because now my focus is on the core audience. The audience is the hero, is like my new focus point, which allows me to then really articulate what I want to talk to them about. But more importantly, in the audience being the hero and all these different things we're talking about, is that now, again, I treat everything like a video game. So I basically found the top people on LinkedIn and I say, can I get to their level without cheating? Can I get so good at writing content that like at any point in time, I could write content, I could do videos, I could do infographics, and I could tell you precisely what to do. So my new resurgence of content has been, I already know what works with outbound. So instead of me just like pigeonhole myself and said it's about sales, like, no, I'm going to use what I already know really well. And I'm going to use that to create really great content. So you could give me any avatar, any audience, any content, and tell me how much you want to grow. And I can tell you exactly what to do because I understand how to do it across multiple different ways. Because I believe that content is the new oil. Like, I'm just very convinced on it. If you understand how to create content, get attention, you could pretty much start and do anything. And that's like my focus. So it's like a new lens for me, and which has created the resurgence.
No, that's great to hear, bro. And but at your level, right? You have more reach than a lot of brands, right?
Yeah.
How do you value that content, right? So I asked somebody, and I would love to hear your question. I asked a young lady, she actually has a brand, a fashion brand. So I was like, look, she does sponsorship. In this scenario, if I have 100,000 followers, right, but I'm not generating the revenue or whatever, my monetization, I'm not selling enough product, but I have 100,000 followers, I have the audience, right? And I'm collaborating with a brand that has 5,000 followers, but they have more purchasing power, right? They're getting more orders, subscriptions, whatever the case may be, and then we do a collab. Who has the brand power in that scenario? And how do you value your content? Is going to be like the second one.
Okay, yeah. So the creator has more leverage there. So I would have them pay me cash. I would attempt to get. It depends on the company, and the B2B lens would be equity, but you probably want profit share. So I would basically say, you're going to pay me up front. We're going to do a profit share based off people that sign up through my link and give me a percentage of that.
Got you. So that's pretty much an affiliate.
But you're also getting paid. Some affiliates don't get paid. They just get the link. I'm getting both.
Got you. How do you set the price on that, right? What is your CPA at that point?
Yeah, you have to figure out what your ER is. So you have to figure out what your engagement rate is. If your engagement is pretty good, you could probably get a pretty good price point, and then have like a flat fee of, here's how much I typically do for engagements per month. My ER is this, so it probably ends up being like, I don't know, X amount for whatever that may be. And then you figure out what the percentage of signups you would get based on that link that you have.
Based on the link you have. And as far as for any creators that are listening right now, what engagement rate would you say is a baseline of good?
Yeah, 1.5 to 3%. It's hard sometimes because you might post something like today. The post didn't do as well as I wanted to for like mine and other people's because LinkedIn literally crashed.
Yeah.
So now your ER is going to be messed up. But like, it has nothing to do with you. The platform crashed. So if it crashed, half the users probably didn't go back on. So half your engagement you would have gotten wasn't there. So you have to take that into consideration because they weren't on the platform because they moved on, right? Yeah. So ER also is like, you could have like done a shout out for someone. You could have celebrated. Like, there's so many things that go ER. You have to kind of look at it in a different way. But 1.5, 3%, you're like in a good range.
Yeah. So that's the thing, right? So I think I have a lot of content creators come on the show and we have these type of conversations, but we have a really raw, direct, whatever. And the difficult decision for them is figuring out the value of their content, right? I know people that have 900,000 followers on Instagram, bro, that weren't monetizing their brand properly. Then I know somebody with like 2,000 followers that has all these different brand partnerships, right?
It's understanding how to sell media and understanding your, let's say, buyer rate, like understanding your buyer audience. So you have to understand the segmentation of who are these 2,000 people. So if you have 2,000 followers, but they're 2,000 billionaires, it's going to be worth way more than 900,000 randos.
Joe Schmoes, yeah.
Right? So you have to understand who your audience is. I know it's easier. I can get 6-figure partnerships because I can tell people I have 100, well, probably less than that. I'd probably say 67%. So I have 100,000 sellers that make an OT on average $150,000 to $300,000 a year. So if I go to a brand with that information and they're like, okay, yeah, that's easy. That's an easy investment for an average selling price. So I could do that. So the reason that people don't know how to do their deals, and I've been there too, so it's not saying like I know better.
Yeah, no, that's real.
Like it's because you don't know what your audience is. Do you know the cities? Do you know they're out of New York, London, etc.? Like I could tell you the top 5 cities right now. Number 1 is New York. Number 2 is San Francisco. Number 3 is London. Number 4 is Austin. Number 5 is Denver. So I know that. So if we host an event, I know if we go to New York, it's probably going to go really well. If we go anywhere in California, I know it's going to go really well. If we do something in London, people are going to show up. I also know the average audience that I have right now is people where I got promoted from sales development, because I started in 2016.
Sales manager.
So like they're now directors, they're now account executives, senior account executives. So my content has to be a little bit more cerebral and very, very tactical. It can't just be like motivational stuff. So, or I still is, but you know what I mean? So the thing is, like, you got to understand who is your audience, and you have to understand how much does your audience make, and you have to understand what do they buy and what do they do. Demographics and also psychographics. That's why people can't sell, because they don't know those things. I know exactly what my audience typically is based on what they do. So I got to be able to sell to that.
All right, totally get you on that. And that was a master motherfucking class for anybody listening. But are you just using the platform analytics to discuss this? Because I know my type 5 markets. I know that stuff, but it's fucking high level. Like, what are you using to go deep?
LinkedIn sucks.
LinkedIn absolutely sucks. So how would you know your buying audience for 20,000? I've got CEOs, CMOs, VPs.
Yeah, I just look at so they have the demographic analytics, and it gives you like an overall title of, say, like account executives.
Yeah, exactly.
If you want to go super, this kind of sucks, but you can do for connections. You can export your connections. I haven't figured out how to export followers yet. That's kind of like my next phase of figuring that out. But you can export connections, and then you can actually sort by title. And I have the VA basically kind of sorted by title and tells me how many AEs or whatever. So you can even do it super granular. That's a lot of work. But
Message.
A lot of work. That's why I've definitely exported it. I was not going through that big ass data file.
No. But you can have a VA do it. You can have the VA. You can find someone to export the followers list, and these. I'm telling you all things that I'm currently working on. I'm trying to figure out how to export I'm trying to figure out how to export my followers list so I can actually give you real data. So I could go to brands and say, this is actually what's going on.
That makes a lot of sense, bro.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. That's what we're working on right now. We've had sponsors. We had a few sponsors, stuff like that. But it's how do we scale it, right? Because once again, our audience is all over the place, right? Some of our audience that comes in are entrepreneurs, right? They have a successful 6-7 figure business. They want to know how this other person has built a 6-7 figure business, and what are they doing? They might want to come on and hear you talk about LinkedIn, hear us talk about LinkedIn, right? Then we also have other people who don't know shit about LinkedIn. We're actually introducing all this shit.
They don't even know it.
They don't even know, like, what we're saying right now. We're speaking a foreign language.
They're like, wait, what?
Like, you can do all of that, but then they heard 6-7 figures of brand deals. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be there. I mean, I said this like 3 years ago. The 7-figure LinkedIn deals will be there, even though the algorithm right now is changing literally every 3 weeks. They're gonna have to change it and adjust, because people will just move on, and the usage rates will be low because people are already getting frustrated, and they're gonna live there because there's no other platform like LinkedIn. But I do believe someone will come around and actually build something similar, or people will leave and they'll build on other platforms and just not post engage, so they lose usage rate. So I think they'll actually figure it out, because they figure it out, they'll make more money. So they'll figure it out. But
it's terrible for customization, especially for video. For video.
They have the feed now, so we're gonna see what they do.
I want to see, but it's nothing like without.
I mean, it's not great. Like I'm not saying it's great. No, I'm not saying it's amazing.
Not YouTube Shorts. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, when it comes to shorts, like, I know exactly what's going to give me 5,000, 10,000, 11,000, 20,000 views on a short. Like, with this, there's no customization. I can't add a little instrumental to make the video clip sound better. I can't add a little in and out thing. Like, I can't. Whatever I upload is what I upload. So you have to really just be a nice ass fucking copywriter on LinkedIn, and that's what got us. And how you got to be able to evoke emotion. That was my big thing, right? So what I wasn't doing was selling, but I was evoking emotion.
Yep.
I was like, my biggest post of the day, bro, got like 3,000 views. I was really just fucking reminiscing one day how I got into sales.
Yeah.
Like, I just had my kid, 20 years old. I'm fucking working at BBQ, smelling like ribs. Like, this can't work. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like, I'm like, this cannot work. She's pregnant. I got to figure it out. I'm on Indeed every night. And then I finally got a call for a hospital call center gig. Went down there. Dude overheard me talking. Was like, sell me this pencil. Fucking sold him the pencil because Wolf of Wall Street just came out. I knew the fucking answer.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I already have the report card. I know the cheat codes.
I know the cheat code. Thank you, sir. The next thing you know, I'm in some office and I'm interviewing. And then I'm at my first ad sales job. And then I'm going around the room. People are like, hey, I'm from Buffalo. I'm from Yale. I'm from this. I'm like, I'm Jarrett Thomas from the Bronx, from Evander Childs High School. And I would be a top rep here. Laughed me out the room. 3 months later, I was doing $250 a quarter. Simple as that. And that was my story. And that was a real story. And people were like, yup, that happened. Yup, that happened. Yup, that happened. And it just went out. Bro, I was getting emails or DMs from fucking China, Germany, fucking everywhere. France, Chicago, the brother from Compton. I'm like, I'm like, yo, damn, this is dope. And that's how it spiraled, bro. And then we ended up making money. But the problem with that is me interacting with the people that are engaging with my content that I don't know that likes my shit. It's that brand power, right? I've closed deals for $100,000 deals, bro, that I didn't even know the people. They just reached out to me randomly and was like, Jarrett, I love your content. Been watching you for 8 goddamn months. And guess what? I have an SEO problem. Can you solve it? And can we get on the call at Thursday at 12?
Yeah.
And those are the easiest sales processes.
That's what it is. I mean, that's literally what it is. That's
how do you reach more of those people? That's what I want to get to. How do you reach the people with the eyeballs? Because there's no way to determine how. Because my line is to give you context, impact over metrics. Cool, The metrics are cool because we're going to be selling that, but you can't equate or put an ROI on the impact that I provide to somebody.
You can't. You get more of those by continuously showing up for the people that do come in that inbound, and then you do provide that service that's excellent, and then they continuously want to be with you, right? I think that's what it comes down to. It's like word of mouth that you're not even seeing, right? So that's the key. That's the key thing too.
That's the power of the personal branding, bro.
Yeah.
So where do you see shit going? Matter of fact, bro, you said 3 to 4 years. I want to get back to that. Why 3 to 4 years to you? What does your mountaintop look like, bro? I'm curious. Because you've done a lot. You've done a lot more than a lot of creators have done, and you basically created a path for a lot of Black creators.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a whole post on this. I'm just gonna tell you right now, like it's very, very straightforward for me. And you're in sports, you'll know what this is. Do you know CAA? Are you familiar with it?
Is that the basketball tournament in North Carolina? Or that CIAA?
No. So creative.
Isn't that the agency?
Creative artists.
Yes, that's for
My goal is to build that for B2B. We have the team, we have the assets to do it. Essentially, what it is, they have a talent arm. They represent the Will Smiths, the Tom Brady's, et cetera, in entertainment. And then they have a production arm that allows them to produce their own things. And they also do enterprise, like white licensing, et cetera. And they work with enterprise clients. Everything I just told you is exactly what we already have started in motion doing. We've only been around for a year. And so effectively, like my whole entire thought process here is I told the team, I was like, I'm going to study every inch and invest all my money into understanding content to a disgusting level so that anyone I talk to can say, this is what we need to do. And I'm willing to invest the money. I have no qualms against it. But the reason I'm saying 3 to 4 years is that I actually think that if you just go hard for so long, you hit this low point that we both hit. And you get lost, and it actually detracts your impact. And I'm not looking back at it and saying, woe is me, and I should have done things differently. That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying next time I'm gonna go hard. I'm going hard for whatever right now. Yeah. 3.5 years, 4 years. At that point, we should be cash flow. We should be good. I don't know if we exit, whatever, we'll be great in a good position. And then at that point, we've already talked to like someone on my team about this. I was like, I'm gonna take an actual break. Like I'm gonna go hard, but then it's like taking that 4 to 5 months and being like, kind of like Kendrick Lamar and saying, I'm gonna drop my phone off somewhere and you're not gonna hear from me.
That's real. And
then come back with the next mission. So that's how I want to live my life now. I don't want to just be like go like it might change. It might change when I get to
getting older. Got to work smarter and harder, bro.
3 or 4 years, I might change it and be like, I want to be more aggressive. But at the time at this point, I'll have a wife, I'll have kids or a kid, whatever. I know my thoughts are going to change, and like my aggressive style right now, they're going to be like, nah, and I'll also feel different because I want to be with them. So going hard and setting up a foundation, and you built this content, you've done this stuff. 4 years, that's a lot of ground to cover. I know how much ground that can be covered in that amount of time because I've already done a variation of that. So in the second run, I would then be like, okay, I'm gonna take 4 or 5 months off, and then I would come back out of nowhere and say, here's the next thing. And I would just do that until the end of time. But a lot of people don't do that. They just keep going, and like, I could be wrong here, but that's where like my thought process is right now.
Bro, that would be amazing, bro. And any way we can support you on that, that's real, man.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna lie, that is definitely amazing. That's something I definitely would want to see come to fruition, bro. But yeah. I'm gonna just tell you, for me, bro, like, you motivate the fuck out of me. I didn't know you didn't have kids and a wife and stuff. I thought you had a full family. That's another cheat code. This guy's good. This guy is good.
Look, I'm not gonna knock anyone's family. Y'all gonna come after me, like,
no, this guy's good.
But the thing is like,
that's real.
There's just a couple things. It's just like, I feel like this is, people might catch this, but I don't really care. It's like, most people get married and have kids irresponsibly.
Nasty.
And so I know if I had a kid, let's say if I had a kid, while I was traveling all over the place, I would feel terrible. And I know I wasn't in the position to actually take care of my family. I was like, I'm in grind season. And right now, as we build this company, I'm open to having a relationship. I'm not against it by any means. But I'm also finding your person is the most critical decision you're going to make, because it's the one decision, or one of the few decisions in life, where you get to pick the person you're going to spend the rest of life with. Your mom and dad, you don't get to choose.
Facts.
You don't get to choose your brother and sisters. Even to a degree, you don't actually choose your best friends, because, like, if you're in a school and you're just in an environment, like, you kind of just pick your friends based on the selective group you have. But with dating, you're picking that person for life, and that's not something I take lightly, right? So I'm going to be very intentional on who that's going to be, right? Yeah. So we can build the right life, right? I know there'll be qualms on the way, but that's part of it. So that's why, for me, like, I have a lot of time, and I know in a couple of years I won't. So I'm trying to maximize it as much as I can.
So I got some sisters viewing on the Instagram and the Facebook, and what if they saying, yo, what are you looking for? Because I asked this to CMOs, like black women, right? Be like, you're successful. You done been through the ringer, right? Like, and what they say is either they've been married for 20, 30 years, or they can't find somebody. It's either one of the two, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, for you in your situation, you're in grind season. What kind of mindset are you looking for? The type of person that you're trying to settle down with? Like, who do they have to be?
Yeah. So, number one is calm.
Brothers, one piece.
So yeah.
That's all we be wanting.
So that's the thing. It's like, I'm just gonna let y'all know right now, and this is gonna be a dating coaching seminar, but this is actually really important for everybody to know, especially for women. Is like, you'll be on a date, and the woman's like, "Can you handle me?" And then I'm like, "What? What? like." Why would I want that? Like, why do I want to, like, handle something? Like, I'm running a business and I got other things I got to do. I got to post on social. I'm already dealing with other interferences with social, people saying whatever about me. And you want me to come to you and say, you can't. What? So, like, no, like, that's an immediate, like, red flag. See you later. I don't have time for that. Like, if I see any hint of that, I'm out. Like, what are we even talking about? So that's absolutely ridiculous. But in a nutshell, like, calm, smoothing, proactively supportive. And what I mean by that is there's reactive supportive, where it's like you tell them someone's like, oh, that's great. I'm like, proactively support. It's like, that I have like a big, deal or whatever that I'm working on. You're like, hey, is that deal coming through? Like, you're like, helping out in certain ways. You're like, hey, I'm gonna get this for you, right? And so those are things that are important. For me at this point, I know everyone's different. Like, they have to believe in God in a certain degree, because there's so many hectic things that are happening in life. We need to have a common ground and understanding on that. So that's obviously going to be helpful. On top of that, I think also as well that you don't have to be a bajillionaire, but have a grounded understanding of, hey, there's a lot of things that are going to happen business-wise. There's a lot of work. And just knowing what that's going to look like, right, is absolutely key. So those are just a couple of things across the board that I do look for. But a lot of it is in calmness. It is in grace. It is soothing, and really focusing on those levers.
Bro, that's real. So, ladies, if you don't listen to that, I'm gonna be real with you. I found that recently. I'm in a relationship now. Found those exact same things. Proactive support, supportive. Like I said, know the business, help me out. Like, yo, if I've got a big meeting, baby, what do you need? What do you like? Sometimes that's what you need. Like, people don't understand the hardship of being an entrepreneur until you get in there. That's one thing that my mentor, shout out to Solomon Choi, owner of 16 Handles. Our first fucking meeting in our mentorship, I didn't know what a mentor looked like. He was like, yo, what do you want to get out of this? I'm like, bro, like in 5 years, I want our kids to play with each other. and you be at the wedding or some shit. That'd be cool.
Yeah,
literally,
that's my bare
that
minimum goal. It's like not that hard. Yeah.
That's what I thought. He was like, all right, I could work with that, right? He was like, all right, and he helped me progress through Hootsuite and a few other things, right? And then first meeting, he was like, yeah, Jarrett, yep, you're gonna know when you're ready. You're gonna know when it's time to step out, and then when you step out, there's nothing that I'm gonna be able to tell you.
Yeah.
You're gonna know what your challenges are. You're gonna know what your threshold or your tolerance for betting and risk, your risk adverse, your business, all that stuff, bro. Like, you're just gonna know. And that shit kicked my ass.
Yeah, you're just like, oh shoot, this is
just business, bro. Business and life, bro. I know for me, when I first started my business, bro, I had just left Hootsuite. I was a top performer at Hootsuite. I'm like, how the hell am I a top performer at Hootsuite and I get let go and I'm interviewing the CMO and the CEO? That doesn't make sense. I know everybody here. So I was the you at Hootsuite.
Yeah, and you're like, what's happening? Yeah,
bro, they were promoting me as much as the owl. I'm just keeping it real, bro. If you go back to my past shit, you'll see. And it's love, and it's shout and respect to them. But we was in a kind of weird position as the business, right? So I'm like, hey, I'm gonna put myself in there. I'm gonna insert myself in the business. I'm gonna train 500 salespeople that are not getting outbound sales on how to do our way, right? How to build those relationships, how to do it. I'm doing so many different things, and then soon shit happened. I'm like, which bullshit, because I'm like, how the hell am I getting left off? And John Smith ain't hitting his number.
Yeah, he's barely scraping by. Like, he just got in here.
He ain't doing no content. Yeah. John doesn't get it. And I got pissed off, bro. I started my own business. But in the midst of me starting my business, I lost a lot of things I loved.
Yeah.
And dealing with that.
It's part of the game, though.
That's the test.
Yeah.
And no one's immune to that shit. And that's the message. No one's immune to the test. It doesn't matter what level you're on. We're going to go through the same shit. We encountered the same bullshit. You know what it is? Are you going to wake up in the morning and go through it again? Are you going to know that you don't have a paycheck coming next week and you really want to do it and you want to buy those new Jordans and you've got bills coming up? How are you going to handle that pressure?
Yeah, different.
It's a different level of pressure, bro. And so that's why I appreciate you coming through, man, sharing the insight, sharing the game, because you made me think about LinkedIn in a whole different way. I'm not going to lie to you, bro. I'm not as intentional as you. I was more so of like, what's for me is for me.
I'm at this point, I'm very strategic and intentional about everything.
I see. It has to be. And clearly.
Every single step of the way. Like, no time is wasted. If you're wasting it, then you're just wasting an opportunity. So I just become very intentional about every step, every single thing that we're doing, how we think about it. Because if I'm not, then the team won't think that way, and then we end up probably losing things that we should be more focused on across the board.
Nasty.
Facts, bro. The shit with that said, man, I know we could talk all day about.
We could all talk all day.
I don't want to. I want to keep you too much longer, bro. But I want to tell you once again, welcome to the More Than a Title family, bro. It's a pleasure and honor to have you on the show. Like I said, I've been rooting for you behind the scenes. We've never had a conversation, bro. You're somebody. I think me and you are the only two motherfuckers on LinkedIn that are black with a hat. Let's just keep it all the way real, bro. We're in the same lane. Like, we know sales and marketing. Not too many of us. And it was people like you, bro, that made me want to do More Than a Title. Because I was tired of this shit, man. I was tired of them putting us in a box and saying we're a specific way, or we can't do this thing, right? Or when we do some amazing things, right? Like you fucking, where's the SDR, and you built a brand. What did you do for the overall equity of that brand?
Yeah.
And what didn't you get paid for?
Yeah. Oh, no. There's so many things behind the scenes, probably.
What? Come on. Like, how many? That's why I looked at Hootsuite, bro. I said, if I'm getting 400,000 impressions, how many new people are coming into the site that are not saying they've seen Jarrett's content?
Yeah, exactly. So many behind that you would never know about. And that's the crazy part. Things that we would never know about.
Never know about, bro. And that's what the bet on myself came, bro. But seeing people like you, Madison, Janice, Liz Lieba, like the ones that are really putting on Lola, Walt Gear. And like I said, bro, this is our platform. I go extremely hard for this shit. We do the social media agency, but this is my baby. And the only reason I want to do this because I know if we have shows like this where they could see a you, they could see a me, and know this shit is possible.
Yeah.
Then it just changes everything, bro. And that's why I want to do one person at a fucking time. So I appreciate you taking an hour and a half because you could have been anywhere. And you deal with a lot of big brands, bro, but you came rock with us, and we appreciate it. That's real shit.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I appreciate you having me on, and I hopefully everyone's some guy out of this.
No, absolutely, bro. If you can, just put your number in the private chat, broski. So we'll start the group chat with Cuzzo once he recovers.
Yeah.
Shout out to my brother once he recovers. He's over there doing a brook up.
Yeah, bro. He looked like he was litty. I was like, hey, man, I feel you.
You doing the hill toe?
He was having a time.
I need a vacation. My vacation is gonna be Con, man. So we out there. I'm gonna let you know what's up, bro. Matter of fact, I'm gonna talk to you about Con. It might be something we can do.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me know.
I'm gonna hit you up, bro. So thank you for everybody tuning in today. It's another episode More Than a Title. Next week, Thursday, we'll be back. May 30th. We got DJ Wiz, DJ of Kid and Play pulling up. We're gonna talk about the business, the growing up, the kid and play stories, house party, all of that. Because this is what we do in More Than a Title. Sometimes we talk business, sometimes we talk everything. We're gonna do what we do. All right, it's for us, y'all. But we're gonna see y'all next week, y'all. Let's get it.